everyone's acting in their self-interest, and we applied the same thing to our Stabledrop. We applied the same thing to our ICO, and we want to make sure that everybody is aligned, and everybody wins.
But we have season 2, so which is Homestead program. It's this new. It's actually the first time we announced it. We haven't announced it before. It's a little alpha for the roll-up people.
Is this how you guys see value accrual in stablecoins, or do you think there's a different, mental framework through which, we should come to understand specifically value accrual in stablecoins?
Welcome back to another episode of Stabled Up, our premier weekly show covering the ins and outs of digital dollars, stablecoins, and the future of decentralized finance.
The show is made possible by Frax, and Frax is powering the financial engine of the internet, powering FRX USD and Genius compliant stablecoins. This is the stablecoin super cycle made possible by Frax. Now enjoy Stabled Up, our weekly stablecoin show. We've got Stabled Up, we've got Dave, and we've got Ben. And
Stabled Up, that's right.
We are stabled up. That is our segment. We are powered by Frax, which is the sponsor of the segment. But we are fired up. And
I just wore my Frax sweatshirt today.
Let's go. And so, guys, you've got a Stabledrop coming, and so you've been building obviously for quite a long time. And so I want to get the latest because you guys have been on the show, friends of the show. And I think the last time you guys were on was a few months ago. So please give us the update on what has transpired over the last few months and catch us up on Stabledrop.
Yeah, I mean, we've been building, man. We've only been live for 5 months. We have around almost 500 million TVL, all organic. So none of these opaque side deals, just people liking yield, people liking safe DeFi. But maybe Dave, you can tell us a little bit more about like the Stabledrop. Is the Stabledrop, not just any.
It's not just any Stabledrop, but the Stabledrop. And I want to start with, we all know that token distributions are broken. We've seen time and time again, we've seen airdrops happen. People get the airdrops, they dump. We've seen the whole game with sex listings. Basically, from the get-go of tokens, they just have a bad start. And we want to completely revamp that playbook. And instead of giving tokens to people that were early users of our protocol, because let's be real, they were a huge part of our success. They're the ones that almost got us to 500 million. So we want to reward them properly. And at the same time, we want to eliminate uncertainty for them. So we decided instead of giving them tokens, we're going to give them stablecoins.
And that eliminates first time ever anybody gives stablecoins.
Yeah. And so that eliminates uncertainty for them, the early users. They don't have to play this game of chicken, should I hold? Someone's going to dump on me. None of that's going to happen. And this is especially good for the buyers and the participants in the ICO, because they don't have to worry about this overhang with the airdrop because it's a stable drop. So we're really excited about this mechanism. We've seen a lot of great reaction to it online. A lot of builders that we respect, such as David from USD AI, the founder of Neutral. They've all actually became our huge fans of the Stabledrop, and I think we're going to see a trend. This is the first Stabledrop, but I'm sure it won't be the last.
I think it's incredible that you guys are doing this. Like for the entire crypto economy and just community to think that we're entitled to the stake of some people's companies is first of all, it's just incredible. You don't see this in Web 2. You don't see this in legacy finance. Obviously, people try to game it, with the airdrop. They want to, give enough of the token supply to their community as to not piss off their community, but not so much that they're giving away their own equity, that they worked hard for. So it's not like you guys have to do this, you guys built this, you guys don't have to do this, but you're choosing to give, something back to the community anyway. So give us some of the tokenomics around this, you guys have been live, you guys have been in mainnet. What made you decide okay, this is the time to do this is now, even after we're live, we want to do the Stabledrop? How much of the supply are you guys doing? How much is the total value? Give us some of the numbers behind, this activation.
Well, the goal here is all about following game theory, right? From the beginning, we have this fundamental belief that people will do whatever is best for them, right? And so that's why we're dividing users that are here for yield and users that are here for points. So from the beginning, people had to choose. Do you want to stake your CUSD and get yield, which is like 6-7%, or do you want to not stake it and you get points and you don't know what you're going to get, right? And now they find out that they get stable coins. And so why are we doing this? Well, we want to make sure that at TGE, the only people that have the token are the people that paid for it, the people that all have the same cost basis. That's why it won't be a game of chicken of who sells first, who buys first, and how long do I have to wait for the airdrop people to dump. And so to answer your question about tokenomics, at TGE, 10% of the circulating supply will have been sold to these ICO participants. So people that participate in Uniswap CCA will get 10% of our token supply, and they will be the only guys holding our token at TGE. Separately, you have these points farmers and early users, and they're going to get stablecoins. We can't say how much just yet because these campaigns still running, so we don't want to mess anything up by saying things too early. So after the campaign ends, that's when we're going to tell people how much we're airdropping.
Yeah, and I also want to add that for our ICO, we have the farmers. They're whitelisted. They're whitelisted for the ICO along with strategic partners. So we want to make sure that the people that are whitelisted are aligned with us and that are basically riding with us for the long term. And so we think our early users should get a piece of that along with our strategic partners.
Awesome. And so catch us up. Like the last 5 months, you guys have been live. I think you guys have been in the industry for a long time, but
Yeah.
you decided, look, we're going to start this stablecoin project, and Cap has done incredibly well in early days. People thought they knew stablecoins were going to be a thing, but they thought like the days of issuing your own stablecoin were kind of gone. You guys came in and you saw, incredible growth. How give us sort of a summary of how things have gone over the last, the first 5 months of Cap.
Yeah, so this is my 5th project, I believe my 4th DeFi project. So I've been around for quite a while, and I have to say the execution by Cap, our team, and the community has been excellent, has been the best I've seen out of all the projects I've worked on. So as Ben said, we started 5 months ago in August. We had a great start. We had especially strong in our Pendle program. And I remember I wrote something about Pendle and you guys had me on back in September. And then you can't really judge a protocol unless it faces adversity, unless there's like some huge conflict it has to overcome. And that happened. You had 1010 and you essentially had the whole stream finance debacle. And not only did we go down, but all stablecoins went down.
Well, we went down in TVL. Nothing happened.
TVL. In TVL. And we went down in TVL. But you know what? We recovered, and we recovered stronger. And the deposits that came back were much stickier, from larger pools of capital than before. And so you had infiniFi, EtherFi, Yuzu Money, all of them deposited in our protocol in this CUSD, stake CUSD portion, and playing with Pendle, that part of our protocol. So we came back, stronger from, all that stuff. And now we're nearing 500 million TVL. People, and the thing with Cap is we're all about market incentives. We're all about game theory. In the same way, we constructed our protocol, assuming that everybody's they're acting their best in their self-interest, whether they're users of holders of our stablecoin, operators borrowing, or delegators providing security. Everyone's acting in their self-interest, and we applied the same thing to our Stabledrop. We applied the same thing to our ICO, and we want to make sure that everybody is aligned, and everybody wins. And we want everybody to win. Yeah.
I love it. And remind people, I think you might have mentioned it earlier, but remind people what is the best way for them to get involved with Stabledrop?
Yeah, super easy. So we've had for the last 5 months this incentive program where people can perform certain activities. It's mostly using Pendle. Some people just mint CUSD, which is extremely easy. You put your stablecoin of choice and you're already earning caps. That's coming to an end. And so whenever the program ends in 8 days, that's like when we stop giving out caps for that. And then we'll be giving the airdrop in February. But we have season 2. So, which is Homestead program. It's this new, it's actually the first time we announced it. We haven't announced it before. It's a little alpha for the roll-up people. It's another campaign. And so if you enjoy the first campaign, if you think it resulted in a good outcome for you, maybe try the next campaign. And thanks to the fact that we're not airdropping tokens, and this doesn't kickstart the same cycle of every other project. You know, you airdrop, token goes to 0, then nobody wants to go on the next campaign. Here's very different. We're airdropping stablecoins, so if we have the same ability to, reward people in the second season the same way we rewarded them in the first.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I also want to add, for the first month of Homestead, we'll be giving double the points, double the caps. And so the earlier you're in Homestead when that starts in 8 days, the better.
Okay, so this thing is going to start in 8 days. I love it. I love getting alpha like right here.
Yeah, first time. This is first time. This is for the roll up.
Everyone, we can all react to this in real time. So in 8 days, we're going to launch Homestead. Everyone's going to be able to participate. Some of the ways are just simple activities that you can do on chain with cap. You can mint CUSD. You can go on Pendle. You can do some cap activities on there, and then you'll be earning points. And the earlier that you're in, the better. You'll be earning double points
For the first month. Yeah.
for the first month. Okay, and then all of this is going to lead to the Stabledrop, right? Are you guys going to do 2 separate ones, one before, one after, for the second
So we'll
campaign?
do one now. Yeah, we'll do one now for the first campaign.
Okay.
The second campaign will get an airdrop at the end of the Homestead program.
Beautiful. Okay, and so everyone is eligible. I'm sure everyone who participated in the first campaign is going to be quite happy.
Yeah, and I want to clarify that
Sure.
caps equals points. Points equals caps. So we use them interchangeably here.
Yep, got it. And so you guys want to be earning caps and earning points, and that will ultimately earn you stable coins. And I'm gonna put a prediction out there and say that you guys are gonna get enormously more activity in the second campaign, because once people realize like they missed out on just money falling out of the they would have wished that they participated in the first campaign, and they're gonna participate in the second one is my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, Dave and I are farmers. We know what people want. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you can give them your token, you can give it out like candy, but people just want yield. They want to make a buck. And so just give them that, right? Why do this whole workaround of throwing out a token?
Hibachi is fast and private perps trading, secured by ZK with Celestia underneath. Go to hibachi.xyz to start trading today.
Not your keys, not your coins. From the team that pioneered cold storage, Trezor has just released its new wallet. Guys, if you are still using hot wallets in 2025, 2026, you are missing the entire point. Secure your coins. Get a Trezor at trezor.io.
YEET is built for big moments. The most fun you'll ever have with your crypto. Go to yeet.com to yeet into your next game. Guys, we've been putting together this thesis around neo finance. Maybe you've seen it. It's like we put out a market map. It's this idea that we're evolving on sort of both ends of the spectrum. The legacy finance world is evolving. A lot of the banks, especially if stablecoin, this is something I want to get your thoughts on too, maybe a little bit later. If Clarity Act goes through in the US, stablecoins are going to be able to provide yield, to their end users. That's going to force, banks to innovate, provide more yield. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of money leave traditional depository institutions and go into stablecoins to get that yield. So we think that banks are going to be forced to innovate into something like a neobank. And then on the other side of the spectrum, a lot of these wallets, a lot of these projects with distribution, we think are going to be forced to sort of go away from the crypto native infrastructure slop that doesn't have product market fit or anything like that, and innovate as well and kind of meet those neobanks where they are and build out what we're calling neo finance. Stable coins are a really important piece of this. You've got the issuers, you got the stable coins themselves, and all of the apps that are releasing these stable coins. I'm curious to get your take on neo finance and this convergence of where we think the yield space is going. You mentioned USDAI. They're going into the credit world and providing credit to AI companies, passing a lot of that revenue back to stablecoin token holders in the form of yield. This is another thing that we think is going to be, really complementary to this new way of looking at things, this new era of crypto, which just feels a lot more grown up. It's not like the pool 2 token emissions anymore. It's more like real yield that's paid in the form of stable coins and yield coins. And we're doing it on chain. We've got really easy to use front ends and user experiences. And then it's powered by DeFi in the back end. And I'm just curious to get your reaction to the neo finance landscape that we see unfolding.
Yeah, it's happening, man. It's really happening. All these people are coming on chain. We realize that the traditional financial system doesn't work as well as DeFi, but it's actually, we're seeing real real adoption. This is the reality that we built for. We built cap because existing yield options on the dollar are way too risky, right? Aside from T-bills, which most people don't just want T-bill yield because it doesn't beat the inflation rate. Aside from that, the other yield options are very risky. And so we created this insured product for the dollar so that other neobanks can build on top of us, so that other applications can take advantage of this yield. And so you have big neobanks like etherfi, for example. They've deposited way over $30 million from their earned product into cap. Why? Because they focus on the distribution. We focus on the safe insured yield in the back end. And so we want a bunch, we want 100, 1,000 neobanks to come. We want 100, 1,000 stablecoins to come. We'll be able to integrate all of them into our yield product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely see a future where there's a convergence between these legacy community banks and what we're doing at the frontier, what we're doing on the edge on chain. I can see all these community, because think about it, there are thousands of community banks in the United States, and they're all looking for ways to earn yield. They could easily plug into our infrastructure and stuff that, like the Genius Act, especially the Clarity Act, that's going to give them guidelines, and that's ultimately going to give them the okay to go ahead and plug into us. And that's way more capital that is about to enter the system. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm ready to help these banks. I want to innovate with them.
Dave, I think you hit the nail on the head. This is the thesis, right? Is that these guys are going to innovate, and like you're saying, they can offer. And if you think about Coinbase, I know I'm jumping around here a little bit. Coinbase is offering this on the back end with Morpho, right? So you've got sort of this fintechy neobank like front end. You've got, look, I'm sorry, but people don't want self-custody. We've tried it. We know that they don't want seed phrases. They want a forgot password button. They want customer service, right? So we offer that to them on the front end, like a Coinbase. And then in the back end, they're providing something like 6, 7, 8% yield because we have all the capital efficiency, all the flows that you guys have. Great name, by the way, Cap. I mean, every time I think capital flows, capital efficiency, you guys are, right at the tip of my tongue. And so that in the background, I think is exactly where the space is headed. And you're right. Community banks, could be tapping into cap and these yield sources in the background. They have the consumer trust, the end consumers, they trust these brands. They know that, they've been banking with these institutions for decades.
Right? Some of these banks have been around for over 100 years, especially in the Northeast.
Yeah.
And so they have established names. They're well known in their communities. But imagine if they're upgraded and they're ready for the next stage of finance.
Yeah, that's how a lot of these DeFi protocols end up receiving the trust, because it's provided through these institutions that have a lot of trust. Ben?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to touch up on that point about trust, because so far what we've seen is that TradFi doesn't really trust us just yet to integrate us into those yield products. Instead, it has been DeFi trusting TradFi. So you'll see, Ethena integrating Biddle, or Morpho adding RWA assets as collateral. But do you really see these TradFi guys integrating their smart contracts into the back end of their system? Not yet. And so that's the challenge, and that's what we're trying to do, right? So we have the likes of Susquehanna, we have the likes of Flow Traders, not going to Apollo, not going to Citibank. Instead, they're coming to us for credit, right? You have people that like neobanks, like etherfi, not going to Wisdom Tree to get their yield, not going to Fidelity to get their yield. They're going to Cap. And so I think if we are able, the challenge is going to be, can you build code that's good enough? Right now we're in this space where we have a lot of startups building managed products that rely on trusting teams. But I feel like if you can build products that are good enough and that lower the trust assumptions enough, you will have this adoption. But that's the challenge that we're focused on particularly.
I like to call it the Uno reverse card. So instead of us going, projects and protocols going off chain, basically becoming rappers, it's the institutions, TradFi, they're coming on chain and they're using us, and they're actually participating in on-chain pools of capital for their bottom line. And so, and they're doing that with cap. They're actually borrowing. They're actively using cap, and I think that speaks volumes.
What are the knock-on effects here? Walk us through what are some of the institutional use cases that you guys are currently seeing, and then what happens next?
Yeah, there's two things. One of them, we closed a deal with Wisdom Tree. So now their users, they have a lot of users that pension funds, family offices, etc., that earn T-bill yield with their money market funds. But a lot of them are not happy with that because they want to earn a little bit more. And so what we've done with them is that we convince them to hook up their product to Cap. So if you're an existing user of Wisdom Tree's money market funds and you're earning T-bill yield, now you can choose to redirect those funds into Cap through a permission flow. And so that's something that we're very interested in. And I see a lot of products trying to connect their yield products to TradFi, but it's difficult to do. And then the other one is obviously what Dave mentioned. Getting these regulated financial institutions to actually use these products. And we've seen it a little bit with, what's that French bank, Societe Generale, right? That they're using Morpho and they working with MEV Capital to do their stablecoin. So we see some of these, but it's still very, very early.
We're still early in something, boys. So,
and people have been trying to understand how they can get exposure to stable coins, because I think everyone sees this. Like, we have Secretary Bessent saying there's going to be trillions of dollars of stable coins, and they're wondering, like, how can I get exposure to this? How can I bet on this piece, this segment of the market, doing particularly well? I mean, is it just use Cap, like just farm stables using Cap and get
What can I say?
points?
Well, here's the thing. There's two ways to get a project's token, right? It's you buy it off the market after they TGE, or you farm for the airdrop. We've been in crypto long enough. What's better, to get money or to buy it? And so I think you know my answer, but I have to be careful with how I explain it.
It's all about skin in the game.
Oh yeah. So you guys don't have a token yet, right?
No, we're going to have a token sometime this year. I can't say when. And yeah, it will be called Cap, which is very exciting. And we have a lot of interesting ways in which we're going to integrate it into Cap, but I don't want to get in trouble with marketing by getting ahead of things.
You guys already released quite a bit of alpha right here, right? On this show. We're definitely going to clip Homestead and make sure that people know about Homestead, because I really do believe that we're going to see a lot more people and funds pour in to the season 2 campaign, because they don't know what they're missing. Guys, I mean, close us out here. What else are we seeing on the stablecoin front? Actually, I do have something that I want to get your take on. We released this Neo Finance market map. One of the main components of this is stable coins. And so we had Chuck from he runs a podcast as well. And so Chuck was talking about how in stable coins we got this barbell. On one hand, we've got stablecoin apps, and then on the other hand, we've got these treasury reserve managers, and in the middle, you've got issuers. And we were kind of workshopping like where value accrues in the stablecoin stack. And so I want to get your take on this. Essentially, in my opinion, the issuer game is sort of a game that's been won. Like, you've got the major issuers. I don't see a long tail of issuers coming in and disrupting, the big few that are up there. On the other hand, you've got, the stablecoin apps like Klarna's going and they're releasing their own stablecoin. You've got even teams that have major distribution. I could see an Uber stablecoin. I could see an Airbnb stablecoin, right? These are companies with distribution, but they would probably not issue. They'd probably use one of these, stablecoin as a service providers and this treasury management in the background. Curious to get your take on this stablecoin stack. Do you guys also see it as a barbell approach? You've got a lot of these stablecoin apps on one side. There can be a lot of apps. Really, anyone with distribution can do quite well on that front. And then on the other side, you've got sort of this treasury management side, as close to bare metal as possible. That's where some more of the value will accrue. Is this how you guys see value accrual in stablecoins, or do you think there's a different mental framework through which we should come to understand specifically value accrual in stablecoins?
I personally, what I don't want to be doing is stablecoins as a service, like T-bill stablecoins as a service, or making my own T-bill stablecoin. Why? Because everybody and their grandmother is going to come out with a T-bill stablecoin. You said it. Uber, Airbnb, Klarna, everyone's coming out with their own stablecoin, and it's completely undifferentiated, right? Why would you use those stablecoins? Well, because you're already a user of those platforms. And so if you have just a stablecoin with no home, why would anybody use it? I'm not sure. Cap, at the beginning, we knew this was going to happen. And that's why we just aggregate all these. It doesn't matter whether your stablecoins from Singapore or South Africa or Florida, we can integrate it to give it yield. To answer your question, I think we will see a lot of these institutions make their own stablecoins, maybe with help from folks like Paxos or others that can automate the legal part for them. And then you'll have a lot of applications. Cap, we want to be infrastructure, right? We don't want to build on top of these stable coins in a user-facing way. Like we don't want to have like a card or some sort of savings app. That's not really for us. Instead, we want to be this infrastructure that connects all these different stable coins that gives them value beyond the mode of their issuers, beyond just, this is a cool stable coin because Klarna made it. It's actually even better because now I can put it in Cap and earn better yield than Klarna would give me otherwise. Dave, I don't know if I missed it.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. My framework for viewing stablecoins is you have distribution and you have infrastructure. And most stablecoins, they focus on distribution, and your distribution is only as strong as your network effect. And Benjamin and I know that we're not going to win in that beat that game at all. And so when it comes to infrastructure, though, there's still innovation to be done. There has been some progress over the years, but I think Cap is really just an order of magnitude more evolution in this
Super
yield
unbiased,
engine.
of course.
Yeah, super unbiased at all. But we really created this credit engine that can scale to the tens of billions, honestly. And I'm really, and this is just the early stages. It's just the beginning, and people are getting on board. So come join us.
Looking for yield that stands out? infiniFi gives you just that. Deposit stablecoins and earn far more than the current savings rate. infiniFi is a battle-tested, reliable DeFi platform that is ready to go. Head to infinifi.xyz.
Halliday is unified crypto payments. Give your users more wherever they are. Go to halliday.xyz to never write a smart contract again.
Trade on anything: economics, weather, sports, crypto, and more. All on Kalshi.com 24/7 for the world's biggest prediction market.
Like you said, you guys have been part of several projects in the past that didn't really stick. What do you think about, what is it about Cap that really has caused it to be like this? This feels like the one.
Yeah. I think first and foremost, it's the team. A project is nothing without the team. I previously have been part of Frax, Dinero Redacted, Gelato, a bunch of different things. Benjamin, founder of QDAO. We have all the beefy devs, and they've held billions in their smart contracts before. So we've all been around, and that experience goes a long way. And how many people can say they have collectively 25 plus years experience in DeFi? Second, it's just the idea. It works. It just hits, and we are seeing it work in real time. And it's just a matter of time until it scales. So it's the team, it's the product, and of course, it's the community. People are excited about it. Not only do we make people aware, but people are using it. People are talking about it, and you're just seeing it catch fire. And I think what I love about Cap is it's a slow burn. It's not like it's like in your face like right away. It's like no, like people are catching on. People are learning about it. People are understanding it. But now I think with stuff that we're doing like the Stabledrop, it's gonna bring way more attention to us and what we're doing. And like Ben said at the beginning, we're almost at 500 million, soon a billion.
I would add one more thing is who's using this, right? We have institutions today that are using us maybe to get credit. Instead of going to Citibank, they're going to us. Like these are large regulated institutions. I think the collective AUM of our operators is over $2 trillion. So this hasn't happened before. We do not see Susquehanna borrowing from Aave, right? We do not see flow traders using Morpho or using other DeFi protocols that I think are amazing and I use myself. And so that's really what makes me think this is different, right? Like, for example, WisdomTree or Franklin Templeton, they've never whitelisted a complex DeFi protocol for usage ever before. They've whitelisted stablecoins to be their backing, but they've never whitelisted their money market funds to be using complex DeFi operations before. And so all these little things, these institutions that are slow and they're risk averse, if they really want to participate in Cap, that tells you that something different is going on here.
Yeah, well said. Well said. And these are success stories that end up scaling to even greater financial institutions. And I think, you guys serve as a model because it would be great for some of these institutions to go into Morpho, go into Aave, right? And get, we know
They
that
should.
these are reputable, DeFi projects and on-chain companies. And it's incredible that you guys are the foray. Like, you guys are the first sort of portal through which they're viewing DeFi on-chain. So, with great power comes great responsibility, right? Don't fuck it up for the rest of us, guys. I know you're not going to. You guys are doing an incredible job. It's really, really great to see.
Well, I have to say we have a CTO and a group of devs that built Beefy Finance, arguably the most used yield protocol in DeFi that has never been hacked, right? It's been in every chain known to man, and they're extremely paranoid and they're extremely conservative. So even if you don't trust Dave and I, the devs are not going to let anything happen. I'm pretty confident in them.
Yeah. The engineering, the code speaks for itself. Everyone can go, they can check it out, do their own research. But I think you guys are doing an incredible job. And congrats on even thinking up the Stabledrop concept. I know people are gonna love it, and it's gonna garner a lot of attention. It really feels like you guys are on the the beginning of something really, really cool here. And you've come a long way. Like you said, 500 million already in the vault. So like, it's not like, this is just a flash in the pan. It's a slow burn. And I think you guys are very much on the right track. So thank you for coming on and sharing it with us. And would love to have you guys on again soon, anytime.
Thank you so much,
for having
Robbie.
us, Robbie.
Yeah, absolutely. See you guys soon. Cheers, guys.
See ya.